I don't know if I've got the wrong YouTube pop-up chat. Let me see. Okay, we have 30. Okay, there we go. Right, how is there multiple YouTube pop-out chats for live, bro? There we go. Hi. Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me. And everything's good. Should be good. Should be good. Right, real quick. Can you hear me over the guitar okay? You can. Sweet. Right, hello everybody. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Long time. When was the last time I went live on YouTube? It's been a minute. But I thought I'd do it. Yeah, I thought I'd go live and dial some tones in, because I know a lot of you guys always ask me, how do you get the lead tone? By the way, the infamous lead tone, just to get it out of the way, this is the lead tone I use for like everything. I'll use for everything. Put that to stereo. Bring it up a little bit. Chainsaw Man. I'm in the wrong tune. I don't remember covers. But yeah, I'm going to be dialing in some tones. Probably do some high gain stuff, some solo-y stuff, some mid gain stuff, some clean stuff. And I kind of just show you the process that I kind of go through. But yeah, for everybody that always asks me, what is my lead tone? Here you go. Compressor. I didn't even know I had this on. 2:5 ratio. Like 3:4 gain reduction. Sounds so different compared to the finished track. Yeah, I do a lot of processing. So typically for processing, that's like a big part of getting to sit in the mix, right? So I add a lot of highs and stuff. Silhouette. I'm not doing song requests. I'm in drop C at the minute, so like the only song that I could even do is like. If you know, leave it in the comments. If you know what the song is. But yeah, a bit of a 3:4 on this. I say this is what I use for all the covers that I do. If you aren't new. I have a low mix drive, 808 mod, 0 drive, 5.5 tone. Amp is a corn fed. These are the settings. Your amp will sound completely different with these settings, by the way. I use these cabs. Highs being boosted a bit, scooping some of the lows. ping pong delay, ping pong makes it go like, you know. And a reverb, which is just a 2-second decay studio. So yeah, there you go. That's my lead guitar tone. Reverb and delay I'll do it in post, but you know. Yeah. Right. Let's do some new stuff. Do some new empty. I need Axe-Fx 3 in my blood to live better. Yeah. Axe-Fx, I mean, yeah, basically how to do good guitar tones. Have a Mayones guitar. Check. Got technically 5 now. That's quite bad. And an Axe-Fx 3. And you're good. That's all you need. Ricky, hello. How many viewers we got? I don't even know. Are we doing all right for viewers? Right, I usually stream on we got 40. Okay. I usually stream on Twitch if anybody's interested in more of these. And I have like 2 people watching me. It's great. So that's just the guitar. Yeah. What should we do? What should we do? Do you want to see like high gain rhythm? Do you want to see lead? What do you want to see first? Leave some comments in, and I will do my best. A little tip you can use for Axe-Fx is you just do these little drag and drops. So amp and cab is a must. Favorite IRs? I've been using the GGD stuff lately, and I've exported them, the ones I like, and just put them into the Axe-Fx. So for lead, we could use the Cali, mid gain, cleans, line 6 Spider insane. Yeah, dude. If you know, you know. Line 6 Spider insane channel. I mean, I was there. We've all been there, haven't we? We've all used that. Maybe the kids nowadays, you know, it's a bit of a boomer thing, like the line 6 Spider. Playing God intro. I mean, drop C. High gain rhythm or riot. I think we should start with high gain rhythm as well. I do agree. I think we should start with that. So you could we could do a PVH block lead, which right out of the box. Right out of the box, haven't touched anything, sounds like that. This is how much of a difference that the cabinets make, the IRs. So this is basically, all this is the microphone, the cabinet, the accumulation of all of that, the output essentially. This is another IR. So that's how much of a difference it makes. Like going from sounds very different too. So cabinets make the biggest difference. This is more like low, mid-range, kind of drier. And this is a little bit, you know, getting a little bit more crystallized, and then this is pretty fizzy. I'm feeling this one. Let's do a tone with this one. Wonderful. Drop C. Yeah, Ricky, drop C is like anything standard tune is going to sound like an absolute mess. Like playing one. Yeah. Need I say more? It sounds like a good mess. We're in the complete wrong tuning. But a trick that you can use when you're using things like the Axe 3 is you use something, a looper. So what the looper will do is record you and play it back. So then you can go through and kind of adjust all these knobs and stuff without actually having to stop playing. You can just keep hearing it. So you can use this as well. Like if you're using Neural DSP, then you can just record something, like kind of press this loop and then it'll play back. And then you can kind of go into like Neural DSP. Anything plugin based, you can just adjust the tones from there. Former Novelist got that sick guitar tone. Zilla. Yeah, the Zilla stuff, I like the Zilla stuff a lot. Will this stream be saved on the channel? Probably not. I'll probably do more of these and then I'll pick the best one and make that public. But yeah, that's just a little tip. If you guys are dialing in tones, so make sure that if you don't have to play, then you don't have to play. And it's better that way. So we're going to go with this. This is already a blend. You could also go with like some Owen Hammer stuff. Like a, I don't know, could go with this. What is this? Diesel Vintage 30 SM57 overhead. So this is like just a stock Axe 3 thing. So where's the other one? Diesel, and they could go with a 1-2-1 mic, which sounds like that. So this is the same cabinet, but a different mic. Like fizzier. So it's completely different, and then you can kind of blend this in, so you can bring the level down on this one and kind of go like -8. Which when you mute that, so I quite like it without this. See what another one sounds like. What does this one sound like? So whenever you're like making tones using like amp sims and stuff, anything that isn't the real thing, something you should probably do is use a high cut and just bring out anything above 10k, because that's kind of like artificial harmonics that going DI kind of brings forward. So if you're recording an actual amp in a room, you're not going to get so many like really high frequencies, you know. And another little tip you can do when you're in Axe Effects is bring up the room level. So obviously when you're just plugging directly into a computer, you're not getting the room ambience that you have when you have a mic on a cabinet in a room, in a well-treated room. You'll get some like room ambience, and it kind of makes it sound a little bit more authentic. So if you have the room level, if you're in headphones, you can slightly hear it kind of go a little bit wider. If I bring it up a lot, then kind of introduce a little bit of that, it kind of makes it a little bit more natural. So have liking how this is sounding already. And a little rule of thumb when you're using like 5150s, kind of do like a, you can scoop the mids a little bit, boost the highs on the lows. Again, when you're kind of working with lower tunings, you can bring a drive pedal, typically like an 808 or like a, what's the pedal called now? What's the original one? It's called 808 in this. The Ibanez tube screamer. TS8? Is it TS8? I literally have one like somewhere. I forgot what it's called though. Could do a rule of thumb like level around 6 tone. The higher you go. Sounds like you got a wah pedal and you've got it like cocked all the way. But you know, all the way down. Kind of sounds a bit muted, a little bit like you're draining the character out. So settings kind of like this. But an alternative you can do is instead of actually having a drive pedal, you can go to the preamp section, go with input boost, and then you can go 808 here. That sounds cool as well. I like to do an actual drive pedal just because you get more parameters to mess with. I typically wouldn't really mess with these anyway, but you can kind of bring the mix down a little bit. You can adjust the level. So I like to use an actual tone, actual drive pedal. Use a precision drive too. Yeah, precision drive is somewhere. Where is it? I swear it's on the left. Somewhere anyway. Horizon precision. Yeah, they must have added one in the latest. What's a Hoodoo drive? Hoodoo drive. All right, okay. Oh, wow, that adjusts a lot. Almost sounds like you'd. Wow, okay. This is mad. This is like, okay. See, some pedals will react to the tone dial a lot more. This one reacts a lot. It's a little bit extra for me. It's a little bit extra. Yeah, there's a lot of really good pedals on this one. But yeah, if these settings like apply if you're using like a Neuro DSP quad cortex, if you're using Neuro DSP like just plugins. I know they're kind of the in thing at the minute, or if you're just using like straight up free plugins and using like a drive, and then your next plugin is like a 5150, and the next plugin is like, you know, IRs. All this kind of applies. It's just I'm using the Axifx interface pretty much. But yeah, so I'm not going to use the preamp on this. You don't really need to go into any of this. The only thing you could go into is the input EQ, and I guess you could do like a high pass. So a high pass is basically this cuts out the low. So if I go really extreme, you're bringing a lot of the lows out pretty much. But you could go like, you know, between like 80 and 110. When you get to clean stuff, try the tape drive. Yeah, I mean, that's good for like adding a little bit of harmonic distortion for sure. If you're like using 7 strings, or even like if any of you guys using 8 strings, then you can like this low cut or high pass is like really invaluable to letting it sit in a mix. There's a lower tuning you go, the more bass you're going to bring it, then you're going to muddy up the mix of like kick drums and the bass guitars and stuff. So if you're using 6 string, especially if you're in like standard tuning, you can afford to go lower here. But the lower tuning you go and the more strings you use, you could afford to even go to like 120. But for like this, sake of this, that's fine for me. So yeah, we got the, I'm going to bring the tone down a little bit. Yeah, the bread and butter is going to be here. So I'm noticing. First it's going to be down a little bit. And basically the higher you go, the master volume as well. The master volume's not just going to adjust the overall level of what you're hearing and just increase the volume. It's going to have a effect, like you're going to get some master volume kind of characteristics coming. So for example, if I bring it up higher, you're kind of going to get a lot more mids. It's going to sound a lot more muffled. Hey, how it's a lot more mid focus now compared to when I dialed it down to like 3.5. So it's a lot more, it's a lot clearer, isn't it? A lot clearer. I personally prefer the clearer tone, but like if you're playing, it's like you don't want quite as busy kind of highs and thumpy kind of low end, then you can kind of just bring this up and you can kind of introduce mids that way as opposed to adjusting that. So that's another cool trick. Penguin Hair, I love your videos. Just wondering what the top finish was called on that guitar. I think this is just like, it's like a Buckeye bow. I don't know what grade it is, but then it's just like a, I guess like a satin deep red fade into a, I know the lighting's poor, the lighting's dark, where it kind of fades into like black around the edges. So it's not too dissimilar to the Devel 7 that I got, the orange one. Yeah, the depth, you don't really need to, like the depth is basically just going to add like sub low end without making it kind of boomy. It just kind of adds like a, I think of it like as a low end cushion underneath. Do you want to bring the level of that up or down? You don't need to go crazy on this a lot of the time, but you can go up to like 7. It feels very present. I think around 2 is fine for me. Bring the bass up a little bit as well. Overall gain as well. Obviously, the lower gain you're going to go, the clearer it's going to sound in the mix because you're going to have less harmonics kind of interfering with other instruments and stuff. So the lower you go here, actually, it's going to sound a lot clearer. Obviously, going really high. It sounds very explosive, you know, but when you kind of go lower. A lot of people crank this like really high just because it feels a lot more responsive to play. So yeah, it's kind of getting to a point now where you can obviously use this. And something else I wanted to talk about is basically if this is like your starting point, this is kind of how you've got your tones set up, but you kind of want them more mix ready, then you can add a, where is it? Parametric EQ is something you can do, and a multi-band compressor as well. But with a multi-band on this, you gotta zero some stuff out. So it's obviously got the level boosted at 6 decibels, which you don't want, and the threshold you just reset to 0. I wish that this was the default, but it is what it is. And something you can do, so this is especially where you will use the looper function, because with this EQ, what we're going to be doing is cutting out some of the horrible frequencies that kind of go into high gain tones especially. I need to learn how to record guitar properly other than with my phone camera and mic. Yeah, you'll need a audio interface, you'll need a DAW, which is this thing in the background, and a cable. And then you're good to go. Obviously, if you want to have Neural DSP stuff or something like that, or just free plugins for the guitar tone itself, then all that as well. But like if you're micing up a cab, just have your microphone that's pointing at the cab go to an audio interface, which then goes into your DAW. Plenty of tutorials though. So, what's a riff that you could play? play my own riffs from when I was a teenager. Let's go with that. A little trick for this, bring up the recording threshold, because obviously you don't really want it to catch, like start recording instantly. When you bring this up, when you press record, it will only start recording when you play something. So it's easy to loop it, you know. And you can also do a crossfade on. So now I'm just going to record something, so then I can sweep through the frequencies over here and cut out any of the horrible frequencies. And then when you kind of accumulate all bringing out horrible frequencies, it'll sound a lot clearer and a lot nicer overall. So yeah, we got the riff recorded there. And then I put this at the start of the chain as well. So if you have it right at the start, then everything that you listen to is what is here afterwards. So you can adjust accordingly. And it's going to change the tone. Basically, like if I just... got a super chat. Flick off, great content, incredible skill, keep it up, brother. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day and you can learn something in the stream. So yeah, as I was saying, we're going to go into the parametric EQ now, and what we're going to do, like just to speed things up, go to the Q, bring it all the way up to 10, and then we're going to sweep through, find any harsh frequencies, and we're going to bring them out. What program is this? This is Axe Edit 3 that I'm editing with. I'm using the Axe FX 3, which is basically like an amp effects processing unit. So I'm plugged straight into that. That's going into my audio interface. That's going to the DAW, and that's why I'm playing without a physical amp, basically. So bring the gain up. So we're going to sweep through my harsh frequencies. So right there, very whistly, doesn't offer anything to it. It's not too prominent, so I'm only going to go about dB and a half. Next frequency, fine. That's pretty bad. 2.5 Ks. Very bad. Yeah, they're the bad frequency spots that they were jumping out to me as ruining the guitar tone a little bit. So the next thing you can do once you find the specific frequencies, obviously the Q right now, which is basically like if you're thinking like so you got the frequency spectrum, then like the cuts that you're doing, the Q is how narrow the cut is. So it's kind of like at the minute we kind of got it like this, very narrow. When you widen it, it kind of like makes it a little bit smoother. So that's something you can do after you found like the trouble frequencies. Go back and then you can kind of widen the Q a little bit if you kind of think that the surrounding frequencies aren't too bad, like, but then some frequency like 2.5 K, might want it a little bit wider because it's a little bit more harsh around the surrounding frequencies. So you can do that now as well. So 1.5. Yeah, that gets worse when you widen it. I can A-B it, so without. sort of different because you don't want to like completely change the guitar tone. If you wear headphones, you can probably hear how some of the whistles kind of just get notified a little bit. So that's all you're going for. You're not going for like crazy. Don't go absolutely mad with this. Don't go doing like 5 dB cuts because I mean sometimes you will need it depending on how harsh the frequencies are. But generally, the more that you're going to cut, the narrower the cue that you want to use. So generally, just kind of do small increment in small changes. And the next thing I want to talk about is multiband compression. So this is basically compressing the low frequencies, like especially for heavy tones when you're like doing palm mutes and stuff. So when you're kind of going like when you do those, there's a lot more low end being brought in than when you kind of go like you can kind of feel how it like fills up the earphones a little bit more. Is you're basically just bringing a lot more low end. So something you can do is like do a multi-band compressor. Some good settings to use are like an attack of about 12, release of about 25. Kind of do between like 95, 400 hertz, that kind of ballpark. And we can erase this and kind of just what's the little thing? When you're kind of doing this, the rule of thumb is to not have it affect anything that isn't palm muted, but then anything that is palm muted, it needs to come in and actually start like leveling out the overall level, so bringing out some of the low frequencies. So let's just do that now. So when this blue bar starts coming down, that means it's bringing out some frequencies. Ratio to start to see that. Comes in on the palm mutes, comes out the palm mutes. That is multi-band compression. Maybe something like that. Yeah, it gets louder there on the low end. Tightens it up a lot. Just tightens up the guitar tone. Then when you like actually recording in a, or it's like you've tracked in a mix, when you're kind of doing like palm mutes, it won't muddy up like the kick drum, the bass guitar, the snare. It won't kind of start like building up and covering other things, you know. So that's the point of multi-band compression. You watch any like top metal mix engineers or rock as well, they will use multi-band on guitar tracks that have a lot of palm mutes, because when you palm mute, especially like depending on different amps that you use and different guitar tones, this is relatively like tame on low end. So when you kind of have more low end on guitar tones, it will bury things. Hello, Marina. How are you? Love your covers and content overall. Keep it up. Your videos always inspire me to play, and I'm sure others will say the same. Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate that. Glad to help. So yeah, now we can just kind of go in and just do some finishing touches to these dials if you want as well. And yeah, that's the rhythm tone. yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So if you've been struggling on rhythm guitar tones, then yeah, hopefully this helps. Like I say, you can go a little bit more excessive on some of the cuts. You could probably go like 2, 2.5, 2 again. Get a little bit more crazy with it. Do things like blocking as well. So just do like high cuts and low cuts. Generally, 18 dB per octave is all right. And low end, again, 18's fine. 90 to 100. So yeah, that is rhythm tone. Now we can do lead, which is very, very similar. In fact, we don't even need to start again with lead. What we can do is if you're using XFX or something that works with scenes, you can go over here to a different scene. Do you do lives on both Twitch and YouTube? Yeah, I do. Twitch, I will mainly do like gaming live streams, and YouTube, I haven't done many, to be fair. So I'm doing one now, though. You know, doing one now. I forgot we're using that. Maybe for this one. No, so a rule of thumb, if you're kind of using, if you're kind of going to go for a lead tone, a rhythm tone with like the same kind of amp and cab, a rule of thumb is what you'll do is you'll bring up. So for the lead, so we're moving on to lead now. You can kind of keep these settings. These settings, the second that you change IR, like the cabinet, you want to start again over here and possibly over here as well. But because we are going to do a lead tone that is going to match the rhythm essentially, we can kind of keep that. So that'll be fine. But the first thing that we want to do probably is bring the drive up. So you can kind of go to like maybe 1. You could go into the amp as well and bring the gain up. But maybe we'll change guitar. We'll change guitar for this one. Which guitar should we use? Use the Aqualite Elite. We'll go with the blue one. Relatively in tune. Relatively. So yeah, you can bring the drive up. Basically, the point of bringing the drive up is just to kind of have the lead guitar tone cut through the mix a little bit more. So something you can do, copy channel A to channel B, go to channel B, then when you adjust the gain, bringing that up, it won't affect the rhythm patch that you just made. A little bit out tune. A little bit out. That'll do. But the two things that I always do with leads, delay that I always use, ping pong delay. So if you got headphones on, bounces between left and right. Something you could also do is just go with like a stereo delay, like a digital stereo. And I think I like with the no, I don't know how you do it on this. No, I'm not sure. So anyway, with I can quickly show you. So in Logic, if I'm using like a digital delay, let me just get rid of this delay first. If I'm going to use Logic and then use like a delay, stereo delay, something that I like to do. So instead of having it like, well, let's just go 8th note. If we just go 8th note, if I want the delay to be the same, so I don't want it to kind of ping pong, but I still want it wide. When you have them exactly the same, it sounds mono because you've got the exact same audio left and right, and it makes it sound like it's right in the middle. So what you can do is you can go deviation and make it just plus 3 3, and then listen to the difference if you've got headphones on now. So that sounds very wide now. Second you go to 0 again, sounds through the middle. Plus 3 3. What pickups do I use? I use Bareknuckle Pickups. So yeah, it's a little trick if you're using Logic or anything else that will allow you to kind of just slightly adjust the timing or the pitch of one of the sides, like left or right. The second you make them even remotely different, it will sound wide compared to it being exactly the same. Still watching even though I don't know about guitar stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I will use a ping pong delay. I personally like ping pong delay. And something that you want to do with this as well is just bring out the lows, maybe to like start at 500. Mix is way too high. You don't want to go that high. Somebody that is a very well-respected musician, Tim Pierce, he says a lot of the time that his delay, he doesn't want people to hear it. He just wants it to fill out something. So that's not too bad. And some of the highs as well. That's pretty nice. And then, of course, the staple, a reverb. I personally like the studio. This is what I use for my main patch. Bring the mix up a little bit. Some of you guys will probably know. Yeah, that's all you really need to do if you kind of go for a lead tone. You can kind of just follow the same exact process as a rhythm tone, but of course just bring the drive up a little bit. You can bring the drive up a little bit more as well, depending on how responsive you want it to feel. What about amp, EQ? How does it vary from rhythm? You could bring the mids up a little bit if you want. So generally with leads, you don't need as much low end. So you could kind of bring the low end down if you want. You could do this in parametric as well and bring the mids up. So if you're thinking like a more visual representation, I guess we could do just to make it easy to explain. If you're thinking a rhythm is going to take up, let's say you got the lows. So you have like, obviously down here, kick, drum, bass guitar lives, guitars. If you can help it, don't interfere too much. Up here, this is just kind of getting to white noise, ear fatigue, high cymbals, hi-hats as well. Maybe the top end of vocals as well will be up here, so you don't need up here. So if you're thinking rhythm guitars are kind of going to live in kind of this sort of range, a bit of low end, bringing down some of the mids. This is very generally speaking. If you're saying like rhythm tone, let's just exaggerate it a bit. Let's say rhythm tone is kind of like that, right? With lead guitar tone, what you want to do is probably less low end, less of that as well, because you got bass guitar, you've got like drum room mics, kick drums, low end of snare is going to live here. Maybe where you look at is where you go, right, rhythm guitar doesn't have as much of that, so we'll boost that and kind of bring down some of the highs as well. You could do a bit of a high cut as well, but you just kind of want to think of like a jigsaw puzzle, you know? So wherever the gaps are left with rhythm, fill those gaps with lead, and wherever the rhythm is kind of gonna have a lot of frequency usage, you could bring that out in leads just so it fits, you know. So doing EQ is just, it's a lot like doing a puzzle. You need things to fit. You need to leave space for other components to fill, if that makes sense. So that's just, you know, a very exaggerated example, but a more, it's probably easy to know what I'm talking about visually, if anything. So we've still got A as the rhythm. So yeah, bring down some of the bass, introduce some of the mids, just like that. Something like that. Something like that. He needs axe without X without the actual axe. Try it and let me know. But yeah, that is lead as well. So obviously when you A-B it, go to scene 1, bring those off. And then the lead. Yeah. Time to switch to the orange Mayo. Do you want to play the orange guitar a little bit? Coach is sleeping right next to the guitars. This guitar is really light. It has the most strings, but yet it's the lightest guitar. Are we in tune? I've hurt my arm. I don't know what I've done. I've hurt my arm right here. I'm playing a bit weird. I'm in the middle of changing my stick. There's a bit of heavy lifting. I don't have the biggest arms, as you can see. I'm playing really bad. Maybe because I'm streaming. classic. I'll not play that anymore. It's hypnotic. I'm glad you like it. So let's see how this tone varies. I'm not going to save it because it's just more of the same of what I've done. So this is something I made when I first got this guitar. That is lead. That is lead. This guitar is it's so awkward to have the 7th string tune. So this is the tone I used for the latest video. Was it this one? Was it this one actually? You know how so many like tones just vary. It's like sometimes you can listen to one, it's like, oh, it sounds ass, but it's like it's just because of what you're used to hearing at the time. Yeah, novelist. I to be honest, there's been a period where I haven't really played many what's the name? 7-string songs, so a lot of it's from back in the day. Yeah, I did not make these tones on this guitar, so they sound a bit weird. Is it this one I use? I don't really like it already. What amp do I use for covers? So the tone I use for covers is the lead guitar anyway. The rhythm changes like every single time. Listen to 5 a.m. making sure the name is good to listen to at 5 a.m. So this is what I use for my my lead stuff. I went through it all at the very start of the stream, so you can kind of go back if you want to hear it. Yeah, let's move it along now. We've done it. We've done enough high gain stuff, haven't we? We've done more than enough. So we go to mid gain, I guess. Mid gain stuff. We'll try some mid gain. Again, let's go to an empty preset. This one I'll do quick build, input, output. Where's output? Drag the cable over. Amp one. Why the cable disappear? Oh, there it is. So for like mid gain stuff, I mean, you can't really go wrong with. The Marshall JCM 800. Do you show all that on Patreon? Patreon is mainly guitar tabs and stuff like that. Guitar tabs, backing tracks. I'm going to try and do more music live streams, so I will just be, I'll try and be more available to answer questions. But this is, I'm pretty much going to try and cover all bases vaguely in terms of like dialing in different guitar tones. Bring the level up for you guys. Already sounds great. Already sounds great. We'll kind of bring a little bit of the presence out. Bring it back in some treble. So the presence in treble will kind of bring different kind of types of high frequencies. It's actually not too prominent on this amp. We'll leave it 3. Maybe got a little bit too much gain on this. Bring in a bit more mids. Hello, Wiz. Yeah, I do botcher if I need to throw some more anime stuff in case any of you guys have just no idea what the fuck I'm playing. Which, to be honest, I don't even know what I'm playing. Depth, I want to bring the depth up quite a bit. I want some more low end. My mind goes blank on how to play these songs. What was another one? What was that song though? What was that? How was that other one go? I don't know the riff one. Oh, that's it. mean, the bocce stuff, they probably use something along these lines. I can probably go with the drive as well. Let's try the, was it tape? That's what somebody recommended earlier, wasn't it? Tape. What did you spend most of your time on when you were learning guitar? Learning songs. Just learn song after song after song. Anything you enjoy playing. I quite like that. When the drive's higher up. Hello, Alex. How are you? We go at around 5. So this is sounding horrendously dry. Horrendously dry. Let's go with a deep chamber. Yeah, that's pretty nice. A little bit higher. Hello, Edward. So to be honest, I'm just kind of noodling around on this one. I'm kind of struggling to kind of get exactly how I want it. So I guess you're seeing live what I do when I'm not quite happy with it. I'm just kind of messing around. I'm just playing around different types of things and just trying to see what I think's lacking. I'm also seeing how it reacts when I turn like the volume down. Like, does it react the way that I want it to when I kind of dig in a little bit more? Yeah, quite like that. Cab mic positions. To be honest, you can't actually do that on this. Can't really do it on this one. So I was just using so I bought the I could just show you, I guess. The what's the name? GGD Zilla cabs and what have you. And then I just kind of have I made a Fat Boy preset the other day, which is just these kind of settings, and then I exported and then just brought them in and imported them into the X Effects. So that's something that I've done. So I'm just using that. So I can't really use mic positions because I don't have them. But I guess using like a 57 and a 421 is a nice little combination. Always want a 57. How long do you think a beginner have to practice a day to progress? I'm trying to at least 30-minute sessions, but I feel like I'm staying on the same place. I can't get over my sloppiness. Well, the thing that you need to think of is it's not about practice. It's about perfect practice, you know? So you can do half an hour of practice, but if you're not practicing the right things, or you're kind of keeping bad habits in place, then are you progressing much? Whereas if you're kind of doing the right practice and you're working on things correctly, then 10 minutes might be more beneficial than an hour of bad practice, you know? So I know that's still kind of vague, but you need to make sure you're practicing the right things. You didn't really tell me anything that you were practicing, but, you know, it's just something to keep in mind is how you're practicing, you know? But yeah, in terms of having this mid-gain tone, I've kind of just been noodling around, to be honest. This is an area that I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want these to sound. So for this sort of thing, it's a lo-fi tape sound like. I knew that was sounding weird. I got that fucking thing on. No wonder. I was thinking that sounds really weird. Like, why? That's a little bit too. That kind of gets buried a little bit. Was it Deluxe Mine Guy? That's nice. I like that one. So this got a pretty abrupt EQ cut off there. I guess that kind of. Again, when it goes to the rhythm and lead stuff, you can do like a parametric EQ with this. Just goes globally to all guitar tones, which was basically doing the low cut, 18 per octave, something like that. And yeah, you can do the Q, high Q, sweep through frequencies, bring out anything that's pretty bad. But in terms of like lower gain stuff, it's not as drastic. Just join the room. Must start some tones in. Thanks for the answer. I go sleep now. Good night. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, Edward. Right. Yep, Kota is here. Is he even on? Dial in some tones, Kota. I can't quite see him. Yeah, mid gain. Basically, use a Marshall JCM 800 and it'll sound good. To be honest, you could do something very, very similar for clean. Shiver Clean's a nice one. You could stick with a Deluxe Mind Guy. Could try something else. Maybe like a ambient stereo. What does that sound like? It's very quiet. So this is very dry sounding, so bring up the highs a bit, bring down the lows. What does the gain sound like? It's loud. Very, very loud. I like the gain all the way up. Sounds nice. Right, let's change up the reverb. Let's try. Ah, 30 seconds. Okay, let's go 20. Let's go 20. Let's bring it up. Let's get ambient. Deep reverb, isn't it? Very deep. What's a chorus hall sound like? Like 7 seconds. Yeah, that's nice. I like that one more. I like that one more. We go 50%. We'll go with a ping pong. And we'll EQ the lows out. Bring some of the highs out. Just to blend in with the reverb a bit. And I guess you could kind of go. I guess you don't need much of a chorus here. You could go with a compressor. Go like a 2 to 5. Could probably bring this. Not this. I played that in college, that's why I know it. That is the only reason I know it. I'm uncultured swine when it comes to that sort of thing. Very, very ambient, that one is. Let's not use the ping pong. Let's just go with this one. This one was nice. Yeah, I guess that's a clean tone. I'm just getting lost in my own little world now. This is the thing with clean tone, it's dangerous. Hello, Toad. Right. So we pretty much covered all the bases there. Clean tone, I think it gets a little bit more like intricate when it goes to rhythm tone, high gain stuff, and lead stuff. And then kind of the cleaner you go, the less you kind of have to do, and it's more of a feel thing. That's how it is with me anyway. I have to play it, and I have to play like a variety of different like. I have to like feel it out, you know. But yeah, I think that's about it. We've covered everything, so you can rewind and go back if you want to see the rhythm tones or the high gain rhythm stuff and the high gain lead. So we've done high gain rhythm, high gain lead, clean, completely clean, which this is basically pretty much completely clean, and the mid gain with the JCM 800 star tone. So hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you've picked up some tricks. Hopefully there's stuff that you can kind of carry out into your own guitar tone building, I guess. The DAW is Logic Pro X. That is what we are using. Yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Appreciate you watching. It means a lot. I'll try and go live more on YouTube, and I'll try and plan it a little bit more. I just kind of felt like going live, so that's why it's a bit random, I guess. And I try and up the production as well, the interaction. This was just a bit of a, you know, I just wanted to kind of just go live, feel it out a little bit, see if there's going to be many people tuning in. So yeah, I'm going to do it more often. I'll try and make it look better. Probably do it in daytime, so I'm not so, you know, unsaturated and whatever. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun though. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it nonetheless. I got a new video coming out on Saturday as always, which is the Tokyo Revengers second season opening, which is going to be going out on Patreon tomorrow afternoon in about, I guess, 14 or so hours, 14, 16 hours. So if you are interested, I have like over 150 guitar tabs over on Patreon. The link is down below. Backing tracks as well if you want to play and learn. If you want to learn that anime covers that I do and play along to my backing tracks, they're all personally hand tabbed out by myself, so you can go check that out if you want. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys, and I will see you guys on Saturday. Thank you, Tron. Full version of Pumpkin demo. Is that what we're calling the guitar now? But yeah, that's a point. I will go live and I will finish that song. How does that sound? That's what the next live stream can be. We can finish that song. If that's something you guys would be interested in, kind of get that'd be a different kind of tone. Not tone. I'm tired now. I'm just tired now. Notice I've spoken less the last like half an hour because I'm tired. We'll finish that the song and see what you guys think in direction we can go to. So I'm down for that. Yeah, thank you, pal. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, like I say, new video out on Saturday. Please tune in for that one. It would mean a lot. Next live stream, I guess we'll do that. We'll finish the most recent video that I pull out, the demo there. We'll finish. We'll try and finish it. I can't promise anything. I'm not the best at writing when I'm told to sit down and write. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll do that maybe next week. I'll see how happy I am with the next cover and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it.